Well, I've been watching a few videos and stumbled across some about racial profiling, people, talking about racial things. So I was going to share this story with y'all. It's a story about me getting pulled over, me and a couple of my friends. Now, we got pulled over for, I guess, a legitimate reason, but at the same time, some things happened. There was some events, some things that happened, and it kind of makes you wonder. It wasn't anything that you could say, that was racist, but at the same time, it kind of makes you wonder. It starts off like this. This was back in it was a few years ago. I'm gonna say back in 2001. I was probably about 17, and it was like 3 of us all together. They were all about 17, 16 too, so we were all high school students. Anyway, so, we had just got out of school. It was a Wednesday night. It had to be a Wednesday night because we all decided to go to the drag strip. Now, I live in Moss Point, Mississippi. So we decided to go to the drag strip. Now, the drag strip is in Gulfport. And for all of you not familiar with the Gulf Coast area, Gulfport is maybe about, you can say about 25 minutes from Moss Point. So it probably took us about 20-some minutes to get to the track. Them all up, they're all riding with me. And now at the time, the car I had was a 1986 Cutlass Supreme. 1986 Oldsmobile Cutlass. There should be a picture of it right here. But okay, now we're all in the car, and if you know what a 1986 Cutlass Supreme looks like, then it's a typical young black male's car. So I'm thinking that may be a factor as to why we got pulled over. But listen, we're on our way to Gulfport. Now, if you get to Gulfport fast as you get on I-10, just drive straight to Gulfport, because the track is on the street. The drag strip is on the street, like right off of the interstate. So we're driving along, right? Now, I had my bright lights on, and the reason I had my bright lights on is because, like I said, it was an old car, and I hadn't had it too long. So the front lights, the headlights didn't work on it for some reason. I don't know if it was a fuse or whatever, but I had it wired up to where I could have lights, but they were the bright lights. Because on the Cutlass Supreme, like the bright lights, it's like 4 lights in the front, and 2 of them are your regular lights, and the other 2 are your bright lights. I think it's like that on most cars anyway. But anyway, so I had my bright lights wired up to, those were the only ones that worked because my other lights didn't work. So we're going down the interstate, right? We're just driving. We're on the speed limit. I mean, the top speed of the car was like 85. So, we're doing the speed limit. Probably riding, listening to some loud music or something, and just riding along, talking, laughing, or whatever. And now it's nighttime now. It had to be, maybe it was around 7 or something, 6 maybe, I don't know, but it was dark already. Police car just pulls up. He just pulls up like right beside us. Not right beside us, because he didn't get quite up to the driver's side window. But anyway, he got behind us and turned his lights on. Now, it's all 4 of us in the car. It's 4, black males in the car. And I'm not saying that that's why he got pulled us over, because he said it was for the bright light. But anyway, so we're all riding, and all of a sudden he gets behind us. We see the lights all light up and stuff like that. We're like, uh-oh, what's going on here? Like, what do we do? That's the first thing that popped in our head. They're like, well, you speeding? I'm like, nah, we're doing good, because speed, we're going about maybe like 75 or something like that. And I think that might have been the first time I had ever got pulled over before. Or maybe not, but I'm not sure. I didn't necessarily know the procedure for getting pulled over. I mean, I had my license and everything. I know you're supposed to pull over on the side of the road, but if I had got pulled over before, I know that I had never got pulled over before on the interstate. And I didn't pull over on the shoulder. I pulled over on the off ramp. It's not like he followed us for a little while, because the off ramp was like right there. But I didn't know. I was like, uh-oh, we're getting pulled over. So I pulled over on the off ramp. He didn't say anything about, me pulling over on the off-ramp or whatever. But when he walked up to the car, I put the window down, and, he asked for your driver's license and stuff like that. He was like, you're riding with your bright lights on. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, but my headlights don't work, and the only ones that do work are the bright lights. So, he was like, I forgot exactly what he said, but anyway, he accepted that. I had my license, my insurance, and everything. I think we had our seatbelts on, but I'm not sure. This is kind of crazy. This is where it was getting kind of funny. So he pulled us over, and it's me, my friend, and my other 2 friends in the back seat. And what's weird about that is that, my name's James, but the other 3 friends, they all had the exact same name. He asked me my name. I told him my name, as I handed him my ID, and then he was like, what's his name? And I'm like, Demetrius. And he's like, what's his name? And I'm like, Demetrius. And he's like, and his name. And I said, Demetrius again, because that's the truth. All three of my friends, they all had the exact same first name. We all have nicknames or whatever. So that's how we like distinguish the names from each other. But anyway, they all had the same, real first name. And, by this time, I'm thinking he think we were messing with him. So he started to ask them for their IDs. Next thing we know, he's asking us all to get out of the car. And we're like, why? We didn't ask him that. We're young. You just obey the police officer, do what they tell you to do. So we all got out of the car. We're all standing on the side of the car, right? So two of my friends, me and my other friend, we got on the driver's side, and the other two, they got on the passenger side. Now, at this time, he decided that he wanted to search the car. He was like, I don't even know if he asked, but maybe he did. But anyway, I probably would say yeah, because there was nothing in the car to look for. The only thing that he would have found in the trunk was like some speakers and an amp and stuff like that. So he's searching the car, and before he started searching the car, he was like, okay, y'all go stand back there and just stay there. So it's like me and my other two friends, we went and go stood by the police cruiser. So we're just all leaning on it. And now me and three of my friends, me and two of my friends, we were all leaning up against the police cruiser. We looked up, my other friend, he's still on my car. The police had him on the hood of the car like this, with his hands on the hood. And we're standing back there like, why are we back here? But they're making him stand up there. And two more cruisers had pulled up. So it's three police cruisers, all had their lights on, just flashing. So we got the whole off ramp in Gulfport just lit up with police lights. This is where a part where it seems like it's kind of like racial profiling, but at the same time, it can't be, because we were all the same race. Now the thing is, the three of us that had to go and stand on the police car, we were all like my complexion. But my third friend, the other friend that I said had to stand on my car with his hands on the hood, he was darker than us. All three of us were light skinned, and he was dark skinned. Now I don't know if they felt more threatened by him because he was a darker complexion than us or whatever. But all I know is that they let us stand freely by the police car. I mean, of course, we're on the side of the interstate on the off ramp. There's nowhere we can run off to. We were actually like standing on the car by ourselves. The police are looking in my car, just in there searching around, and while they're looking through my car, another police had my friend on the hood of my car with his hands on the hood, and now the police is standing like this. I don't know whether he had his hand on his gun or not, or whatever. He had his hand on something, because he had my friend on the car, and he had his hand on his back. Well, my friend's on the car like this, on the hood of my car, and the policeman's standing like this. Now we're back, a few feet away, so I couldn't see exactly, how he was standing, but I did know that he had his hand pulled back like this. And at the time, it was kind of funny because like I said, we're all standing back there, and then like one guy out of the group gets singled out, and they make him stand on the hood of the car with his hands on the hood. Now he had his ID the same as the rest of us, and he wasn't even the driver. So I'm trying to figure out now. Really thinking back, I don't think he said anything to the officer, because I can't. The officer never said anything was said to him. Like, what sparked this? Like, why was he getting more attention than the rest of us? And to tell you the truth, it seems like the fact that he was a darker complexion, that seems like it may be the only explanation. But I don't know. And like I said, they were searching the car, and of course they're not gonna find anything because we didn't have anything, because we didn't do anything. I'm thinking, was that like two forms of racial profiling? I mean, the fact that we got pulled over, and the fact that they singled one of us out because he was a darker complexion than the other three. Now think about it. If you see an 86 Cutlass with bright lights on going down the interstate, and then you see like a 2006 Nissan Sentra with their bright lights on, To me, it seems like the policeman would pull over the Cutlass before they would pull over the Nissan Sentra. They may figure that there's more going on in the Cutlass, like more illegal activities are probably going on in this Cutlass full of African American males, or however you want to put them, black males or whatever. But, you know.